Hi, hello there. I'm Fraser from Metalworking in France. Another little video on today. I've got to make two of these things. A bit difficult to see, but they're originally made in nylon. As you can see, they're not particularly strong. They're actually, they go onto a motorbike to literally, they're for adjusting the headlamps. And obviously these things have got to screw into the fascia basically, but obviously when you tighten them up, these little nylon things just give way. So I'm going to make a pair of these out of aluminium, so hopefully they'll be a bit more sturdy and last a little bit longer. Okay, so follow me in the next few clips and you'll see how I make these. All right. Here you can see I'm turning down the main diameter of this bush. Just got to turn it down to about 10 mil. So here I am. I'm just drilling a hole right through the aluminium bush. I've speeded it up a little bit, basically because it's quite I can't go too quickly with it because I know it's aluminium and it does drill very easily, but you still need to take it easy a little bit. I'm having to brush the swarf away and bring the drill out every so often because I've actually got to go in about 40 mil for the whole length of the thing, and I'm only drilling at 5.5 millimeter diameter. So I'll have to put a little bit of coolant into it and lubricant so that the drill doesn't pin up too much. Because if it pins up, it'll just get too hot and it'll either break the drill or burn the aluminium. Now it's time to put the 6mm reamer through. I'm using a machine reamer which hasn't got a taper on the front of it. It's a lot easier to use it, obviously in the lathe, because I can get it nice and true. Put plenty of coolant on it or lubricant so that it doesn't pin up. But the fact that I'm going into a blind hole, meaning that the hole is not drilled right through, I have to be a bit careful because the reamer itself actually doesn't pull the swarf out like a drill would. It just pushes the swarf in front of itself. So in the bottom of the hole there will be the swarf that's building up. So I've got to be a bit careful because if I go in too far into the base of the hole, then everything could just seize up because there'd be a build-up of swarf which would literally just clog up and it could break the reamer even. And they're quite expensive to buy, so I certainly don't want to do that. Here you can see I'm actually using a slot drill, which is actually a milling cutter, but I just need to put a recess in the end of this bush to take a shoulder of a pin. So I just need to take it in about, I think it's going in about 3mm at the most, 2 or 3 millimeters anyway. It's just, basically so that keep so the head of the pin can go below the surface. Excuse my hands coming in to move the swarf away. It's not too dangerous because the swarf wasn't actually coming out in a spiral. So I've put that recess in, it's a nice flat bottom hole. I'll try the pin in it just to make sure that the head of the pin is going to go below the surface. So yeah, that looks as if that's not too bad at all. That's gone in quite well. Right, this looks like more or less the final procedure. I'm just screw cutting the thread onto one side of the bush. As you can probably, I don't know whether you can make out, but I've already done the other end. I've machined that end on already. That thread on the far end is actually 12mm by 1mm pitch, which is quite a special thread. This one that I'm doing here is a 10mm metric fine, which is 1.25 pitch on the thread. So it's quite a slow process. I've put the soft jaws on the chuck so that I can hold this in like a shoulder, so I don't damage the thread on the back edge. So I'm literally just holding on the pronounced part of it, like the collar of this bush, so that I don't damage the thread on the other end by holding it in the chuck. So it's quite a long procedure, I'm afraid. It can get a little bit boring, but what I do is I cut the thread, obviously with the lathe going forwards, and then just as I get to the bottom end of the thread, I then reverse the chuck and pull the tool out of the workpiece until I go all the way back to the beginning and then run through again. I have to do 4 or 5 passes to get the thread depth I need. So it's coming on quite nicely anyway. The thread is looking quite well. It's looking nicely formed, so that should do the job quite well. So here we see the finished item with the old broken ones. Well, there you are. That's a nice little job. They're a little bit graunched up on the side here because they tried to pull out of the chuck actually, but that doesn't really matter because that's right at the back of the dashboard, so we won't actually see that. So yeah, this will get screwed in. There's a nut there that goes on. They're quite fine threads. This is a metric fine 10mm on this end, and this one is a special thread. It's 12mm by 1mm pitch on the thread. I had to screw cut both of these basically because dies are not easy to come by. You can get them, but they're quite expensive, and it wasn't really worth buying a die just for this job. So anyway, there you go. They've got a recess in the back to take a pin that goes in there to wind the lights up and down. Okay, so if you enjoyed that video, please feel free to make any comments you may wish to make. Don't forget to look out for more videos in the future, and I'll see you next time. And just in case you hadn't noticed, I've got a new t-shirts now, well, polo shirts. So yeah, okay, look out for me in the next video. Okay, thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.